Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your valuable time right here with the Adapt 2030 channel. FedNow releases its pricing. You will have to pay $25 a month for the service. Interesting how the Restrict Act, VPN involved, yet VPN migration for FedNow Cisco VPN devices, the language of the global currency, ISO 20022, calls for AI purge, calls for digital currency stoppage, Bitcoin mining on track to consume all the world's energy in 2020. Yeah, those were good arguments to get us on to FedCoin. India, Russia shifting to Dubai benchmark Indian oil. Dollars less used. It's going to rely on the states, Tennessee passing gold and silver reserves as legal currency and tender. Because as we go through this transition, we may need to up and pick up everything. That's the direction it's going. Population migration has been a hallmark of these downturns and shifts of ages. We're in another one. How are we going to move through it together? And as always, the hidden shall become seen. And the seen maybe will need to be hidden. Wouldn't that be so apropos for our generation where we need to hide our books? Are we coming back into a time that has been lost and forgotten? What is this sudden transition, this shift from gold, silver, fiat, paper money straight over into 100% digital? What is being lost, or what do they want us to forget? And when I say them, central bankers, control of your money is control of your life. The simple things, would you be able to buy a rowboat to go fishing in your own lake? What kind of resources will we have at our fingertips? What were the chapters of history indeed? Were there previous technologies that we're not allowed to partake in this present society? It does seem like all roads are leading to one place. The way you spend your money, the track, the trace, and maybe the access to energy as well. Free energy, can't control that. So we've all heard about FedNow. Federal Reserve announcing FedNow service pricing approach. Now remember, the Treasury is going to deposit directly into your routing transit number. Each of us will have a wallet. And as it looks, $25 monthly fee will be subtracted from that wallet. Isn't that interesting? Direct deposit in there, universal basic income / whatever it is. But you're going to have a $25 recurring participation fee. Yay, that was forced on top of you whether you wanted to or not. And just like cryptocurrency, there's always going to be a slight fee for transaction senders and returns as well. So if there's a snafu in the system, you're going to get charged 3x to finally send that. You send it once, 4.5 cents. Oh, it got returned, 4.5 cents. You need to send it again, another 4.5 cents. You might not think that's a lot, but trillions of transactions adds up to a lot. That's hundreds of billions of dollars. The 2023 financial crisis has begun. According to Bloomberg, the missing catalyst is here, with gold now forecast to surpass $3,000 an ounce as a worst-case scenario. The economic hurricane J.B. Diamond warned of is here. Call the proud Americans at the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. Remember, Patriot Gold Group offers the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver on qualifying rollovers. Call 888-546-7020 to get your free investor guide today. Keep in mind, Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs top-rated gold IRA dealer 6 years in a row. That's 888-546-7020. And now on with the video. And you're also going to be required to pay 1 cent fee to request to be paid. There's also some limits on what you can do with this. And the Fed was asking for recurring investment recoup. But wait, doesn't the federal government take care of that? Oh, wait, the Fed is not. It's private. So as private companies do, these investments, higher operating costs, yeah, they're going to have to install completely new systems to be able to implement distributed ledger technology. The infrastructure, current economic environment, we need to get our money back. We're going to take it out of y'all's pocket. Thank you. Treasury, that's something different than the Fed. So let's look at the service fees. For us, We're going to be at the customer credit transfer level. But again, $25 to participate, which you will have no choice. You either have the wallet or you don't. So right there's a minus. So looking at the roadmap here, the ISO 20022 timeline seems to be incredibly sped up, because they're talking about having participating organizations ready to go on testnet here by July 2023. I do see it Q3 2023, Q4 24 deadline for service providers and software vendors. On their portal readiness testing, a step past March 23. And most interestingly here, all Federal Reserve banks and participating entities using Fedline Advantage, Fedline Command, Fedline Direct are going to have to replace their current VPN services/devices with a contemporary solution, meaning everything on the ecosystem running with the same VPN. I highlighted in yellow where they're moving to with their broadcast C111 model from Cisco, at least on the wireless there. Everything will need to be fully certified with authorization onto the new VPN network. And lo and behold, Senate Bill 686, the Restrict Act. Something about VPNs in there too, using a website or an app operated by a foreign adversary, which is determined in Clause 8 here, foreign adversary. It's actually spelled out for you, quote unquote. People's Republic of China, including Hong Kong and the SAR, which is Special Administrative Region Macau. So I guess if you were going to access Alibaba in China, that would fall under the Restrict Act, 20 years for you. I could see Cuba, Islamic Republic of Iran, DPRK, Russian Federation. I guess nobody's going to be able to access RT News without going to your jail for 20 years. Venezuela as well is on that list. Now those are the bigs on the list, and it's arbitrary. It could change at any time. But I find it incredibly coincidental that all of this talk about limiting of VPNs is exactly what FedNow is moving to, VPNs, and having their entire networks shift and change. So what is it that the dovetailing of those two are in play, along with the complete collapse of cryptocurrencies, removing the on-road off-ramps of crypto banking? At the same time, the Fed is coming out in conjunction with every other central bank to issue their own central bank digital currencies. Now that's a 2-for-2 in coincidence overlaid. I don't even know if there could be a third. Could there? Perhaps there could, but digging a little deeper in the VPN migration, it will not allow for multiple Cisco VPN devices to be connected to Fedline concurrently, meaning all at the same time using this same IP address. So if you have multiple offices in a building, this is not going to fly. You're going to have to switch over and then set up through a new technical contract, and you have to figure out where that is. I linked everything below in the description box. Lengthy reading, lots of PDFs. You're going to go down that rabbit hole, see in a couple weeks. Do we need to migrate all at once, all the VPNs in the new Fed system? Not right now, but the new solution will not allow for multiple Cisco VPN. So what are they doing? They're firewalling off each individual user, each individual account or participant in there. The ecosystem's vast. And then talking about using and moving over to VPN devices. Do we really need to use yours, or ours is top notch? Nope, you still need to fly over to it in the specified time frame in the communication, which we all know now is July of 2023. Remember talking about the third coincidence? Oh, third time's a charm. Elon Musk and others urge AI pause, risks to society. Digital currencies posing threat to the economy, warns the BOE, Bank of England. What are the chances? And remember all the scaremongering of Bitcoin mining on track to consume all the world's energy by 2020, written in 2017. That didn't happen. And you can see how cleverly constructed the distributed ledger technology settlements within 1 second here on the new FedNow instant payment system is. Figure D, participant profile, authorized connection profile, connection party, and the queue. That's why there could be kicked back transactions on this. So the way I would see it, you would reverse everything, because the monies that are going into individual wallet or address holders is going to follow the same, but in reverse. Now, where does your participating bank at the far left integrate into delivery of your funds, or how do your funds get over to participating banks that can then be cross-swapped back into the Fed? And the best we can look at it is there's a reading between the gray line here. So if we're looking at the operating procedures, this is the March 3rd release, 2023, the FedNow instant payments. They bring you down into an enrolled participant. Apparently the individual is going to be a customer credit transfer receive only. That's all you're going to do. You're going to get it downloaded into your wallet. That's it. Within this FedNow system. Now, after it's in your wallet, buying things at participating stores or depositing into participating banks, etc., that's an entirely different use case. This is just from the Fed, universal basic income slammed into your account. Now, what happens after that? Unknown. Is it programmed? You don't use it in 90 days, it's gone. Who knows? But this is how you'll be relegated into a CTRO. Now, there's different levels. You can send and receive. You can request payments. There's a huge amount of categories inside this, which brings us into the one world currency here. So don't think of it as like a paper bill that will be used across the planet. It's a system. It's a framework, a common global language for messaging payments. ISO 20022, which I went in depth on Mike Adams when I had my Brighteon TV show, talking about Hashgraph, Hedera, Quant, RippleNet, etc. And buried treasure reemerges from 2016. These were the banks and institutions in 2016, which was prior to the run-up in Bitcoin to 20,000. Everybody was, crypto mania at that time, 2017. But these were all the ISO 20022 adoption for high-value payment system participants. Told you that they weren't even delving into it, weren't looking at it. It was all brand new. Wow, you guys are crazy thinking that we're going to do that. Australia, Bangladesh, Brunei, Canada, China, Europe, ECB, India, Japan, Switzerland, UK, and US. They were all working on that. And those that had already used and demonstrated Bayer, Cargill, Itron, Merck, Microsoft, P&G, and Tableau software. Okay, so now the picture gets a little wider. This is why places like Tennessee, have you heard about it in the news? I'm sure you have. Those were messages because Tennessee creating gold and silver reserves and also laws to allow you to pay your property taxes or anything government-wise, fines, whatever it is, in gold and silver. Now imagine we do have a financial crisis. The U.S. hyperinflates. Well, if you're only holding fiat or you're only holding stocks or something within the system as we understand it, there's nowhere for you to move. You're going to just get hyperinflated away. Gold and silver, the only problem is getting that piece of silver coming out of the system into the fiat and then paying on your property taxes or paying off the rest of your mortgage, whatever that would be. Signing on that law to be able to use gold and silver as legal tender, now there's about 20 states that have done it, which means that if we go into a hyperinflationary event, then you could walk down and pay your property taxes with half an ounce of silver. There'll be regional economies that'll spur up. I mean, you can imagine a gold and silver-backed regional currency that was used within interstate trading. I mean, really within the state itself. Somebody in Memphis could trade with somebody in Knoxville using the Tennessee Reserve or whatever that would be. Because the whole thing for me, watching Lynette Zhang and talking to her is, how do you protect yourself to be able to pay your property taxes? Because this is the name of the game. If they wipe you down to you can't even pay your property tax, that is already built in for the big swoop. And everybody behind you, like the bigs, will be waiting with their free money to buy everything up. They'll go into quantitative forever again once the crash comes because they'll need to rebuild the economy. They'll have endless money while you're sitting there trying to keep people from, pillaging your house. And it's going to work a little something like this. But if you got the metals, you can always rest assured that at least you can pay your property tax and help others that would lose their farms or homes at the same time. And the weather woes continue. The strangeness and the cavitation in the atmosphere from the Hunga Tonga eruption are really going to hit home starting about now with the delayed planting, and we'll see the ozone depletion event start up right in July. Food is one thing, but energy is another. And now we see the death knells of the U.S. dollar. It's all planned. It's all just one giant movement of wealth from one part of the world to the next. The debt cycle can easily be restarted in all of the developed nations, which is 3/4 of the planet, so we can get another 80 years until the next fourth turning. But we're looking at the decision of two state-controlled companies abandoning the dollar, Russia and India. They're going to deal now in the Dubai benchmark oil, Bourse, for a better term. Mainly Asia focused, so here it is on the map if you haven't seen it before. So they're going to go off those pricing, and they're not going to use dollars. And during this time, you're going to need some storable foods. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030 3-month emergency food supply. That link's in the description box below. And remember to join us every Thursday night, 10 p.m. to midnight. Revolution Radio. We're streaming on these platforms here. Click on libertylinks.io solar minimum. It will take you to all the platforms that we do stream from live. You can converse with others in the chat box of like mind. I do thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.